Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy 𝙇𝐴 with NBA 2K Film Room, and as you can see here, the live reaction just started. We wanted to be here to be able to react with you live to see exactly what's going on this roadmap to NBA 2K26. So let's check this out.
Take you through the new features and improvements that are coming up in this year's game. Now, a couple of housekeeping items. One thing to keep in mind is we are here to talk about NBA 2K26 on Gen 9. Now, in case you don't know what that means, that's what some of you have called next gen or new gen for the last few years, and because it's not really new anymore, Gen 9 is easier to understand for everybody. So Gen 9 this year for NBA 2K26 includes PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and then also the brand new Nintendo Switch 2 that came out this year is part of Gen 9 as well. The other housekeeping item, some of you may have noticed that we do have new Twitch drops. That means that you can watch these first few Road to 2K26 streams and earn a locker code for NBA 2K25. And this is how it works. There's 2 tiers of rewards. If you watch for 45 minutes, you will get 2 one-hour double XP coins, 1 for MyTEAM and 1 for MyCareer, 2 hours total. And you can use those, of course, on your way to level 40 right now in 2K25. There's a MyCareer Cat Breaker, there's 𝙄𝙗𝙗 in MyTEAM, and many rewards along the way. So that's what the double XP coins are for. But if you keep watching and you watch for a total of 2 hours, you will get a MyTEAM 100 overall plus pack, plus camo pants, and 60 skill boosts for your MyPlayer. So that's a nice reward, and all you have to do is watch. And you can keep accumulating that over the next few weeks. We are not going to stream 2 hours total today, but you can finish your watch time on our next Road to 2K26 streams, and we do have a bunch coming up, which we're going to get to in just a second. And one final note, of course, on this, Twitch drops are, of course, on Twitch. So if you're watching on YouTube or X or TikTok, come over to Twitch if you want to participate in Twitch drops. Now, before we get into today's reveals, let's do a rapid recap of last week. First up, we revealed our NBA 2K26 cover athletes with the MVP and also Finals MVP on the Standard Edition, Angel Reese on the WNBA Edition, and the Superstar Edition with Carmelo Anthony. I have seen a lot of Melo fans out there who very, very much love this cover, including someone who is going to be joining us very shortly that you might be able to guess who I'm talking about. But he will be here in just a second. But maybe the biggest news of the week for you all was, of course, about early access. In case you didn't see it, this year's early access, if you get the Superstar Edition or the Leave No Doubt Edition, will begin on August 29th. That is a whole week before launch on September 5th. I'm pretty sure that is the longest early access, at least that I can remember. So hopefully everybody is excited.
To me, that seems like
now,
they're doing
there
that.
are a good 6 weeks until then, and we are just so excited to talk about 2K26 that we wanted to give you all an early teaser.
Let everybody watch.
I made a post yesterday that we know that after the cover athletes and after the pre-orders, it can feel like a long quiet period before we get into gameplay. So think of today as an appetizer. And what that means is, to be really clear, we are not getting into the main courses of 2K26. We are not talking about the full reveals for each of those game modes. Those are going to come later. But there are a few things we can talk about today that I know you all will love. Some of them are like my personal favorite changes as well. There's improvements that have been inspired by community feedback that our dev team has been working very hard that we wanted to pull together and share with you all today. But I have rambled on long enough. Let us welcome in a special guest from the community so that I am not up here by myself. Dax, how you doing today?
Yo, chat, what is good, man? Super excited to be here. Talk about 2K26, man. Got a few things I just found out recently, and excited to hear about it, share it with you guys as well. So let's do it, baby.
Yeah, so Stax just got a sneak peek of the sneak peek a little bit ago before we went live. So he has a list of everything we can talk about today. And now we're going to walk you through it together, section by section. You feeling good about this, Stax?
Yeah, for sure, man. And why not just go ahead and dive right in it? You know what I'm saying? Let's start out with probably the thing that everybody want to know the most about, gameplay. And first we have rewarding skill-based gameplay. So Evan, what does that mean? Rewarding skill-based.
All right, we're gonna get right into it then. I hope
is this some comp stuff? Hold on.
We're going to start off with a big topic, and one that I know many in the community have shared a lot of thoughts on. It has been a very hot topic this year indeed. So today what we want to share is that one of the dev team's themes was ensuring a skill-based gameplay experience where you feel more in control and you feel that what you're doing on the sticks, on the controller, is more reflected by what you're seeing on your screen. And that is an overall theme, so you're going to feel it across shot outcomes, blocks, steals, loose balls, rebounds, and more across just how gameplay feels this year. Now, Stacks, I know we can't leave the community here with a broad theme and no details, so there are a couple things that we can say today, so listen closely. The first one, higher difficulties are going to play with green or miss jump shot timing.
Thank
when we
you.
say higher difficulties, that includes most competitive multiplayer modes that many of you all play.
No more hitting
so
whites
in those
and
modes,
pro-am.
you're not going to see early or late releases going in on those difficulties, which I think is a very welcome news to many of you.
Thank you.
Second
That's
thing,
big.
the shot meters and the dunk meters are both going to show you your green windows in 2K26.
Okay.
That was a point of feedback that came up a lot, and even as the year went on, I kept seeing that many weren't getting used to the new 2K25 shot meters, especially slashers gave that feedback a lot. So in 2K26, the meters are going to have the green windows again. One more thing here, layup timing is going to be permanently enabled in multiplayer modes. That means you're not going to be seeing real player percentage layups go over you anymore with someone that's just tapping a button. All the layups need to be timed in those modes. But those of you who are newer to the game, we do want to clarify that you shouldn't think that you aren't going to be able to make a layup anymore. Because this is not meant to make it really hard for you to make your open layups, but rather to separate the really good finishers from the weaker ones, and definitely to make sure that there's more skill involved. So those are the three things that we have to share for gameplay for now. Green or miss shot timing, green windows on the shot meter and dunk meter, and layup timing being enabled. So hopefully those are all good news to you. I see the chat is happy, it seems. It seems like they are.
Those are
and there is a lot more that we will be sharing later when we do our full gameplay breakdown. But for now, you'll have to be patient and the details will come here before you know it.
Yeah, and those all sound like things that, you know, throughout the year the community was talking about, and
the layup timing
changes that they wanted to see be made. So it's good that
we're
so
many people try and get away with that.
With that being said, just a reminder for you guys too, the full gameplay reveal will be the week of July 28th. All right, so keep that in mind. This was just a small sneak peek. Week of July 28th, more gameplay details.
So it's nice that they put a focus to it. It looks like they're focusing more
also, one last thing, by the way, Mike is not going to be answering questions today. I know you all love hearing from him, but he is a very, very busy guy right now. He and his whole team and the whole dev team are working on the game to be ready for you all. So we're going to wait until after the full reveal of these modes and gameplay to answer any questions. So Mike is not going to be answering questions today. Don't blame him. Let the man work. He is very busy right now. He and his entire team are working on finishing 2K26 for you all. With that said, what is next, Stacks?
Yes, sir. Most anticipated, maybe not most anticipated, but highly anticipated. We're going to be talking a little bit about the MyPlayer builder. Okay. All right. I know a lot of people want to hear about that. And first, we got build with new insights. I really wonder what that means, Evan. Break it down for us.
All right. Let's explain this a little bit. So, obviously, one of the first things many of you do in 2K is you go into the builder and you experiment, right? That is such an important part of every 2K for you. And the dev team has taken time to add more previews and more quality of life improvements to that process. Okay. So there's going to be multiple things that we can talk about later, but one example that we can share today of what that might mean is a nice little addition that you can now preview the body types that you'll be able to unlock right from inside the builder. Because I've seen many people make a build, they save it, then they go and check the body types, and then if it doesn't have the ones they want, they back out, tweak it a little bit, check again, and repeat. That's kind of time consuming. So you will not have to do that anymore. You will be able to see the body types before you are done with your build. And that is just one example of some of the improvements to the builder, some of the quality of life upgrades that we're going to talk about more later in the summer.
So that kind of sounds like you don't have to unlock them
one that I see
Gatorade.
Here, staying on the topic of the MyPlayer builder, is fresh playstyles year round. Okay, well, let's talk about that a little bit. Fresh playstyles.
Yeah, so of all the feedback this year, it has been consistent that many people in the community love Capbreaker, right? In case you weren't locked into 2K25, you don't know what that is. what cap breakers do is they allow you to improve your build even after you finish making it. So you can make the attributes even better, and then that unlocks the badges and animations, and then your build continues to stay fresh. So today, we can confirm that cap breakers will be back in 2K26.
Okay,
and there will also be other new ways to improve your builds and earn those cap breakers that we're going to talk about soon.
Okay.
The other thing that I saw a lot of positive feedback on this year was the takeover system, where you have 5 levels that eat up automatically, you don't need to activate it manually, and then a takeover ability at level 5. That system at its core is back, but it is more in depth now. So there are some new mechanics, and the progression is also streamlined. So unlocking takeovers and the pure amount of takeovers and special abilities or takeover abilities, that is not going to be as intimidating anymore in 2K26.
Man,
so,
having a grind,
we're going to talk about takeover and cap breakers soon, but for now, they are back and they are much.
It was brutal, so that's a W right there.
Interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to hear more about those takeovers, but as we keep things moving, I think this right here was something, again, that the community will talk about throughout the life cycle of like any 2K game, and it's MyPlayer build diversity. So yeah, we'll be talking about there.
Yeah, so build diversity is really important, and the dev team has been working hard to ensure that whether you have a short build, a tall build, or somewhere in between, that there are ways that you can be effective on the court. So when we get to the full 2K26 builder reveal, or when some of our creators have their hands on the builder later in the summer, you will hopefully notice some of the changes that are striving to hit that goal of build diversity. But that is it for MyPlayer for now. There are many more details that we just can't share today.
That sounds
I'm excited for what's coming up though.
So that means
man, I see. I wonder if this little sneak peek right here for me, just as someone that's a fan of the game, makes me really excited, and I definitely want to hear the rest of it. But just a reminder again for everybody in the chat, the full MyPlayer builder reveal will be the week of August 4th. So put that on your calendar. If you're looking forward to that week of August 4th.
August 4th is big.
The full MyPlayer builder reveal. With that being said, next up is MyTEAM. So all of MyTEAM fans, lock in, and we're starting out with Triple Threat Park. What do we have going on there?
Well, Triple Threat Park is back. It has been a very fun first year in 2K25. And look, I know Park is not something many MyTEAM players are used to, but as the year has gone on, I've seen a lot of streams where people are squatting up with some friends, and they're really having fun in the park. And even if you don't play MyTEAM, let's say you're a MyCareer player, you spend all year running the same 4 or 5 builds, if you jump into Triple Threat Park right now, there are so many MyTEAM cards you can pretty easily get, and you only need 1 if you're playing co-op, and then it's basically like playing Park with NBA players. So I even saw someone last week, they've hit level 40 almost every season in MyCareer, and they posted how they realized that they've also earned a ton of powerful MyTEAM cards at the same time without even knowing it. So because of that, they were kind of able to jump into Park right away with some MyTEAM friends. But anyways, that is enough about 2K25. That's just my view on Triple Threat Park. Or 2K26, which is what you guys will know about when we do get to the full MyTEAM reveal. There's a couple things you can look forward to us talking about. First, there is a new location for the Triple Threat Park. So the rooftop has been awesome, but we do have a different vibe this year to keep things fresh. There are also new ways to play with or against other people in the park. So you can squad up with your +1, play new formats that I'm not going to spoil today, but I will say I have seen them be requested often.
Did they just say twos? They just hinted
Lastly,
twos.
in the park, there have been changes to rewarding with community feedback in mind, so that you can earn even more rewards throughout the Triple Threat Park. But we're also going to share more on that in a couple weeks.
That's kind of good too, because
perfect. Sounds great.
To be able to play more
next up for MyTEAM, we also have King of the Court presented by AT&T. Let's lock in. I know a lot of the MyTEAM fans are excited for this one, so let's hear what we got.
Okay.
Yes, MyTEAM players, I want you to pay attention to this one because I know you're gonna like it. But there's 2 things here to cover. One of the biggest points of MyTEAM feedback that we've heard this past year is how King of the Court was only for a few hours on Saturdays. So if you were out of the house, maybe you work on Saturdays, or maybe you're just in a different time zone where those 4 hours were in the middle of the night for you, and you probably couldn't consistently participate, right? We get that. So in 2K26, the dev team has worked on making King of the Court more accessible. Now it is going to take place across the entire weekend to give you more opportunity to play.
So they turned it into
But the other thing about King of the Court is a very, very big one. Because in addition to competing for big amounts of VC, the winner across PlayStation 5 and Xbox each weekend is also going to be competing for a cash prize of $10,000.
Oh.
So, we are going to share more details about all of that, but in short, there will be a cash prize for King of the Court winners in MyTEAM.
So
on
they
the
kind of like
weekends.
they're
I
trying
am
to
very,
tweak
very
it to like
excited
a
for
slight
this.
like
I hope our
MyTEAM
competitive
tournament
community
again.
feels
Like,
similarly.
all right, that's kind of tough.
Even now, very often, I'll come across like a MyTEAM YouTube channel or social account or something, and they still have like NBA 2K23, 2K 250K qualifier, something like that in their bio. So I am hoping to see some great streams, some great videos on the weekends from the King of the Court this year.
That's actually kind of tough.
Hey, man, huge shout out to
I wish
AT&T.
Pro-Am has something like
You know what
that.
I'm saying? Bringing the
Dang,
heat for
bro.
NBA 2K26. We really do appreciate
that's
it.
a W.
But it is time to move on. Just remember, the full MyTEAM reveal will be the week of August 11th. So if you're a MyTEAM fan, you're looking to hear more about King of the Court, shout out to AT&T. Keep that on your calendar. The week of August 11th.
Yes, indeed. Real quick, by the way, one more thing here. Don't forget that there is a 2K26 challenge that's available right now in 2K25. So you have to use SGAs and Mellows cards. And by the way, if you don't have those cards, you can get them with that locker code right there on the right side of your screen. And if you complete that challenge, you get not only an Invincible Devin Booker in 2K25,
Wish they
but
were
you
able
also
to make
get
her
a
into
Series
like a
1 option
playable
pack
character.
and a mystery special pack waiting for you in 2K26. So we will tell you a bit more about what that special pack is when we do the MyTEAM Courtside Report, but I don't think I've seen anybody make an accurate prediction yet, but at the same time, I can't see everything. So just wanted to make sure that you guys do that challenge so that you're not passing up on some extra rewards for 2K26. But that is it for MyTEAM. What do you have next, Dex?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Personally, my favorite mode, we're going to be talking about MyCareer. And what do I see here, Evan? Does it say a new MyCareer storyline?
Spike Lee,
Is that what we
Spike
get?
Lee, Spike Lee. Come on, come on, come on,
Yes,
come on.
you
Bring it
are
back, bring
correct.
it back,
So,
bring it back.
MyCareer is a really important mode to us because so many of you love playing in your NBA careers. Makes sense, right? Who doesn't want to make themselves, put them on an NBA team? It's fun. So this year, the dev team has spent time building out a full prelude story that is called Out of Bounds. Title of it? Now, we're not going to spoil how the story goes, of course, but what we can say is that there are now more consequences to the story games and your choices. So, for example, if you've got a game and your goal is to outshine your opponent, but you fail, your agent might not be able to get you the best opportunities because you didn't pass those objectives. So it makes things more interesting, and personally, every year...
Man, I thought you were going to have an option to crash out, because that would have made playing MyCareer again entertaining, just for the different options.
To play through this out-of-bounds storyline myself. Hope you guys are as well.
Like, nah, I'm not showing up to this game.
Sir. Also,
like,
where will you go in the NBA draft? It looked like the draft is back.
Oh, that's kind of tough.
Ultimately, you want to get drafted to the NBA, right? I don't think that's a spoiler. I can say that. The draft is also an area of my career where I've seen brought up a lot in feedback, because it seems like half the community wants to get drafted and half want to pick their team so that they can go to the Lakers,
the combine
LeBron and Luka. Or if you're like Stacks, picking the Knicks, of course, playing with Brunson over there.
Shout out to
But
Knicks.
our dev team has done the best of both worlds in 2K26. So this year, you can be drafted based on your performance and how well you fit each team, or you could also bet on yourself. You can pick a team to do a private workout for and try to convince them to draft you instead.
Okay.
So the decision is up to you whether you want to get drafted or pick your team. And I think it's a pretty nice solution to that feedback where we saw both ends, people who wanted to get drafted and people who wanted to pick their team.
Playing MyCareer,
now, you can do what you want.
More fun, because there's just it's not just the
That's
same.
pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I like
grind.
that. This is a reminder: the full MyCareer reveal will be the week of August 18th. I'm excited for that one personally. That's probably my favorite one. That's the one I'm waiting for the most. But next up, we got My NBA, and we also have. And when I heard about this, I thought this was really cool, because I always thought about why this isn't in the game. Now it's in the game. We got dynamic banners.
Yes. So what does that mean? When teams win championships, they obviously get to hang a banger up, right? Our cover athletes, Thunder Squad, they're about to do that in a few months. Well, now, as you win titles, you will see championship banners actually live in your home arena going forward. So the dev team put a lot of love into this feature. They have carved out a dedicated section in each arena for these banners. And as you play out your franchises, you are going to see all the years of championships hung up there. And the presentation is going to spotlight it to show the hopefully many years of championships you've earned. If you can't win one, you're not going to get one. But hopefully you have many, many years of championships to show up there in the rafters.
I respect that.
We don't have a visual today, but we were going to show you all how this works in August.
Hey, perfect. We also have more customization with unranked MyGM.
Okay.
Yes. So last year, we brought back MyGM, and even pre-launch, when we announced it, during our Q&As, people were asking about an unranked option. So we didn't do that last year, but this year we do have that. And in the unranked version of MyGM, you have a lot more freedom. So you can import custom rosters, draft classes, essentially really fine-tune your settings. So last year, if you thought MyGM looked cool, you were interested, but you got turned off by the lack of customization, we think you'll really like this one.
That kind of works.
Perfect. And the full My NBA reveal would be the week of August 18th.
The base was cool. They just definitely
and
had
lastly, but certainly not least, we have the city.
All right, let's see.
Dive in there. See, we got some heat to talk about.
Could we forget about the city? I see many people in the chat have been asking us.
Think it's going to be the same city, y'all? Let me know in the comments.
Well, we are going to talk about the city a little bit. And I did want to talk about it first a little bit in general. Because in years past, we've heard the feedback about how intimidating the city was, right? We talked about this before, and 2K25 was a huge step to actioning on that feedback. I personally noticed it right away this past year, and I think much of the community did as well. Now, we want to get you on the court faster. So this year in 2K26, without showing you the city, because we can't do that just yet, how I would describe it is it's even more intimate, it's even more accessible, and you can get wherever you want to go really quickly to further build on that big shift last year. So if you've heard the words the city come up before and you thought about that really big map with streets and turns everywhere,
so
that is not how the city is now. And
in the middle of the city where you could just hop on the court.
What sneak peeks do we have for the community stacks? Because there's a very cool one here.
Interesting.
Yeah, so first up, it says there's even more ways to flex and show off in the city. Tell us what that means, Evan.
Right. So all of you in the community love to flex. When we get into August, something you can expect to hear about are multiple new ways of how we're putting a spotlight on players. And one that we thought we would be cool to talk about today, as an example, that's not too big of a spoiler, is our new mode leaderboards. So these rank players by the most wins in places like the theater and the rec. And the cool thing is, the top player each day is going to have a big 12-foot statue of their MyPlayer built outside of that mode's building.
That's kind of tough. Okay, that's kind of tough. That's kind of tough.
Whenever somebody walks in, you are going to be looking down on them, kind of intimidating them.
That's kind of tough.
That is just one example. We can't talk about the other.
I will probably never be there, but like that is kind of tough.
Very soon later in the summer. There is one more very cool thing though, Stacks, that I have been waiting to talk about.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. So this one right here, in terms of people that play in the park and stuff like that, this is probably the #1 thing. And I noticed like a theme throughout this thing is a lot of community feedback. But it says right here, the park gets a makeover. Evan, we need to know what's going on with this.
But yeah.
All right, so we're going to end on one that I think many of you will be really, really happy to hear. Because the park is getting a lot of love in 2K26. And we want to call out now that the new designs are focused on more natural and more grounded environments.
Okay.
The feedback about what direction many of you want to see the park environments go in, that has been heard. So this year you can expect to see designs like ones that are more similar to courts that maybe you might see in the real world. Maybe in your cities or neighborhoods, you might see courts like these. And one more thing here on visuals is that there are also new lighting improvements and a fixed time of day. And the benefit of that is that it should reduce the amount of harsh shade and harsh sunlight that you may have noticed in the past when you were playing. Both of those things, I am sure, are very welcome news. I keep seeing those brought up. So, Stacks, I hope the community is happy with them. I see a lot of W's in the chat. That is something that we've been waiting to say for a while, that the scenery in the parks is going to be more natural and more grounded.
I just
like the improvements.
I like having just things mixed up, so it's not just the same thing over and over and over again. We're playing this game for an entire year, so like
Stacks,
having some
that is
sort
going to do
of
it for our sneak
variety.
peek. I think the community got some nice little information here. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. And just keep in mind, guys, all of what we spoke about, or Evan spoke about today, is just a sneak peek, right? We're going to get deeper into all of these things and the dates that we mentioned. And as far as the park goes or the city goes, the full reveal will be the week of August 25th. So keep that in mind. More news to come during that thing. But I feel like we got a lot of interesting things here, a lot of great news here. We talked a little bit about gameplay, my team, my career, the city, my NBA. We talked about a lot of things here, and I really love the fact that a lot of this stuff was community feedback focused. So, shout out to the community for always submitting that feedback and letting these guys know exactly what you want, and shout out to 2K as well for actually taking the time and implementing some of the stuff in the game too. That was cool.
Exactly. Shout out to our dev team who's been working on that, on all these features and many more that we are going to talk about very soon. In case you missed any of this, the VOD will be up so you can rewatch, or you can also read the full Courtside Report blog that is going to be live very soon, if not already, on the NBA 2K website. And that also covers what we just talked about in case you came in late, didn't see some of it, because we did start a little bit earlier than expected today. So in case you missed any of it, it is all in the blog. You can go and look and catch up. Now, we are going to see you back here for NBA 2K26 gameplay on the week of July 28th, and that is in about 2 weeks. And that's going to kick off a marathon of reveals leading up to early access on August 29th. If we can put up the roadmap here, this is a very beautiful graphic our team has been working on.
That is kind of
there's some Easter eggs here as well, but those little tape cassettes there next to the TV, that has got all the dates you can expect to see. Gameplay, presentation, my career, my NBA, a couple things we didn't even talk about are there in those tape cassettes.
Hold on,
go
we're
take
gonna
a
have to
look
at that and see if there's any Easter eggs
very soon. That is all I got, Stacks.
We might have to break that one down.
Yes, sir. See y'all in the next one. Like you said, gameplay coming the week of July 28th. We'll be back there, talk about gameplay a little bit more in depth. So, see you guys. Can't wait to talk about it more. Peace.
Have a great weekend, you guys. See you very, very soon.
Okay. We're just gonna pause it right there, y'all. I think they gave us a lot of really cool tidbits that are just really gonna make us speculate now, right? Because thinking about how they talked about them having more focusing more on the competitive aspects of certain game modes not having your shot meter on, or pretty much turning to green or miss. So in a sense, if they're taking away from all of them, that's pretty much reducing shot profiles. So it sounds like settings could be kind of a thing that gets shifted. But also what does that kind of say for competitive modes? So does that do you think that Proving Grounds might have gotten a revamp as well? Because I feel like those are things that you want for these sort of modes. Proving Grounds is to be able to continue to rank up and be the best that you can be. The same for Pro-Am stage. It's gonna be actually kind of interesting too, the whole statue thing, because outside of Proving Grounds, are you gonna have one for each each mode? So a statue for the ones players, statue for the twos players, statue for threes, fives. That's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna see if I could try and go back and kind of do what they're doing, and I'm trying to look up the Courtside Report as we're kind of here. But I think the cities thing was dope. Just having variants is cool. I know a lot of people were they're sick of pirate ships, they're sick of warehouses. I was cool with it. I sometimes I don't understand the Uber's obsessiveness for realism when we play a video game. It's nice to be able to just switch it up. It's cool to be able to go back, but I just we could just honestly, you could let me know in the chat how long do you think it's gonna take before people start complaining oh, these parks are boring, oh, let's switch it up, let's do this, blah blah blah. The dynamic lighting thing is cool because I know I've heard a lot of people talk about when it changes, the settings change, it kind of messes up as far as being able to see, depending on how some people's brightnesses are on their monitors or TVs, etc. So that could be a cool thing. The whole MyTEAM thing though, having King of Court and having 10K on the line every single weekend, that's insane. Like that just shows that they are trying to get more into the competitive side. So I'm very excited to see what they continue to do with Pro-Am, with, Stage, with, Proving Grounds. I wonder if they use Stage as that competitive mode, or do they use 3v3 Pro-Am to kind of like play that. So like it's going to be very interesting. Having like Triple Threat Park, I think back being dope. Like I think that's sick. It was a fun game mode. It was something that like he brought up a great point. A lot of people, we complain about how much it costs to make a build, and not wrong, right? Like it's a lot of money to be able to make a build. So having those MyTEAM cards still allows us to be able to go play hoop, have fun with friends, and like we're kind of rewarded for getting them just as we go along with the game. So that's cool. Cap Breakers being back is huge. I think they talked about like with that. I think that's just gonna continue to push the meta, right? So I believe every season with Cap Breakers and like the different editions, it changes how builds are made. So people are gonna make new ones, shift certain things. So it'll help with continuously pushing the meta and adjusting the meta, so it's not going to just stay the same thing the entire time. So I'm interested to see how they do it, as well as kind of like balance it more so in the builder, because sometimes having all those Cap Breakers is crazy, and you could be able to go onto a smaller build or certain things, like, and now you have these super like cracked out builds that are just, I didn't even get to Vet 2 this year, and I played the game a pretty good amount, right? Like, I'm fighting for my life as a lock, trying to guard some of these like guards, and just 99 speed shooting guards trying to get back. I'm trying to help get back on the break, all kinds of things like that. Like, so it's going to be very interesting to see. I think they talked about what was it? My bad, y'all. I think they talked about with the builder, like the takeovers. One, thank you. Yo, having to sit there and grind all different types of games to be able to unlock a takeover that I might use once, twice, and then like, okay, I don't really like this one, I want to try something else. That's crazy. That's insane. So like being able to have that streamlined would be a huge help. I'm wondering what they meant, like, these takeovers are a little bit more in depth, because that can say a lot, right? So does that mean they have more specialization? Because I know, for example, like, me being a lock, I didn't think there were a lot of lockdown defender takeovers, or even true like back end takeovers for when it comes to like playing like a power forward in a 5v5 setting. I wonder if they're going to have some that be a little bit more dynamic, that allow more flexibility, because they talked about like, builds being able to do different things. Does that mean that like, okay, bigger builds be able to dribble a little bit, or like, big men will be able to do more, like the list goes on. I'm thinking that as far as like having like builds being more compatible and having like just more going on with it, right? Like I would have to say that, I guess I'll just throw something on in the background, but like I guess like that might, like I was kind of saying it a little bit earlier, like, so does that mean like Midi Magician is back, or like maybe a Giant Slayer? Are you gonna have like a badge that maybe like enhances the ability, like, okay, if I'm taller than you, I'm shooting over you? Are smaller builds gonna be more glass cannons and speedy? Like does that mess with the contest system? Because like all of these things have to really play into account now. And I know people like talk about like, oh, realism this, realism that, blah 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 blah. Yo, we play a video game. We play an RPG. As much as people don't want to admit this or believe it, we play a role-playing game. It's the same shit as playing like, a World of Warcraft back in the day. Like, like, you could go on, shoot, RuneScape for all the old heads. Like, you could go through all the different things, Mass Effect, etc. You play an RPG. You have a role. Your build has a role. Point guard, you're there to facilitate, score, do things. Like, you might not play a lot of defense unless your role as that point guard on your team is to play defense. You know, such as like, you know, a Jdruh Holiday type of stuff. Like, you still play a role, and every team adjusts the way they play and their play style depending on which role each person's gonna play. So like, no matter what people say, we play an RPG, so there's only gonna be so much realism that's gonna be able to be there. So it's very interesting. I don't know if they. Hold on. 1 second, chat. I'm gonna just pull it back up. Give me a second, because they got into some stuff, but I want to make sure like we are on it. Dang, chat didn't end. I can't go back and watch it. That's tough. But I guess they're allowing for watch time, yeah? That's not bad. Okay, here. So
Earn a locker page. Able to guess who has an appetite.
Evan, what does that mean? Board and skill based.
All right, we're gonna get right into it then. I hope everybody is paying attention. Loose balls, rebounds, and more across just how gameplay seeing on your screen. And that is an overall theme. So you're gonna where youth has been a very hot topic this year indeed. So today, what we want to share is that one of the dev team's themes was ensuring a skill-based gameplay experience where you feel more in control and you feel that what you're doing on the sticks, on the controller, is more reflected by what you're seeing on your screen. And that is an overall theme. So you're going to feel it across shot outcomes, blocks, steals, loose balls, rebounds, and more across just how gameplay.
All right, we're going to stop it right there. What he just said right there, like, I don't know about y'all, like, I think he just, like, alluded to, like, responsiveness. So, like, you know, reflecting, like, what we do, like, on the screen. Like, I know some people say, like, oh, it's a little bit, like, you know, less responsive. So, like, what are we, like, I guess the game would be more responsive, less, like, you know, I guess latency, delay, you know, there's only so much you can do when it comes to online stuff, but that might be a thing. But the fact that they, like, and I'm just going to go back one more time, because, like.
And that is an overall experience where you feel more in control and you feel that what you're doing on the sticks, on the controller, is more reflected by what you're seeing on your screen. And that is an overall theme. So you're going to feel it across shot outcomes, blocks, steals, loose balls, rebounds, and more across just how gameplay.
All right, so the one thing that, like, stood out to me, loose balls, right? Yo, oh my God. The amount of times as a lock, bro, where I'm making the PG put the ball on the ground, and they're, even through a fumble animation, I'm still not able to pick the ball up. It's like, I can't pick the ball up, my teammate can't pick the ball up, and the guard winds up getting it back, winds up throwing the ball to one of their teammates, who's now wide open because everybody's in a scramble drill to be able to get this ball, and they wind up scoring anyway. So now it looks like a defensive breakdown because we're not rewarded for that. So I think that would be dope. You know, talking about rebounds, that's something cool because, like, I think, like, this year, like, turbo jumps really created that skill gap, right? Like, in order to keep people from being able to abuse, like, 99 O board, 99 D board type stuff, like, you really had to play with IQ. And that's, like, a big thing there. So I wonder with, like, you know, we're rewarding skill-based gameplay, that means that, like, you're going to have to really worry about the IQ portion too, and, like, doing the right things, and, like, you know, being smart with your shot selection, being smart with your closeouts, like, you know, your baits, you know, your reaches, just your movements, etc. Like, even your box outs, right? Like, so those are all important. And, you know, quick plug. If you guys do want to learn more about that stuff, definitely make sure you join our Discord and you follow us on all platforms, NBA 2K Film Room. That's exactly what we do. We help with all different types of gameplay mechanics, tips, tricks, tutorials, but mostly the IQ, so everybody can be able to play. You might not have the best thumbs, but we'll have your mind right so you can make the right play every single time, and you could be able to close that skill gap between the top. So definitely check us out. But I think that stuff will be really dope. I'm interested to see what they do with it.
Now, stat is an overall theme, so you're going to feel it across shot outcomes, blocks, steals, loose balls, rebounds, and more across just how gameplay feels this year. Now, Stacks, I know we can't leave the community here with a broad theme and no details, so there are a couple things that we can say today. So listen closely. We have multiplayer modes that many of you. Second thing, the shot meters and the dunk meters are both going to show you your green windows in 2K26.
Both showing green windows. So, like, do you think there's going to be a threshold for both now? Like, we know that, like, with middies, there was a pure green window. And, like, fades is a pure green window. But, like, do you think it's going to be there for both? Is it going to be a badge that's going to require it to be able to get something like that? Because, like, you have green windows. Something. Does that also mean, like, since they're really, focused on dunk meter, does that mean slashers are back? Because that's kind of what it sounds like. Is like being able to drive. I know the ISO community is just singing praises right now. Like, oh yeah, we could drive. We could go back to 5 out. I love 5 out, but as long as it's not that just I'm standing in the same spot, dribble, drive, and then pretty much I get boxed at the rim. I have to pass out to somebody else. Now somebody's doing the same thing. No, that's like you're literally playing 1v1 on a 5 score or 1v1 on a 3 score. Like, take that shit to the 1 score, bro. Like, actually use your teammates. Like, play real basketball. No matter what people say, they say P&R, like pick and roll, that kind of stuff is not real basketball. You sitting there and allowing your teammate to dribble out the clock, pretty much dribble for 24 seconds, dribble out the clock, is not real basketball either. That is boring as hell. There's movement, there's actions, there's cuts, there's different sorts of, like, back screens, flares. You could go on. So, like, definitely have to have something. But that kind of, I'm interested to see. Like, I'm very hyped to hear all of this stuff.
That came up a lot.
July 28th is
even
big
as the year went on, have the green windows again. One more thing here. Layup timing is going to be permanently enabled.
Layup timing, of course, W. People
those of you who are newer to the game, we do want to clarify there's windows on
all 26. With that being said, just a reminder for you guys too, the full gameplay reveal will be the week of July 20th.
So one team and the answering questions today.
Let's hear about that. And first we got build with new insights. I really wonder what that means, Devin. Break it down for us.
All right, let's explain this a little bit. So obviously one of the first things many of you do in 2K is you go into the builder and you experiment, right? That is such an important part of every 2K for you. And the dev team has taken time to add more previews and more quality of life improvements to that process. So there's going to be multiple things that we can talk about later, but one example that we can share today of what that might mean is a nice little addition that you can now preview the body types that you'll be able to unlock right from inside the builder. Because I've seen many people make a build, they save it, then they go and check the body types, and then if it doesn't have the ones they want, they back out, tweak it a little bit, check again, and repeat. That's kind of time consuming. So you will not have to do that anymore. You will be able to see the body types before you are done with your build. And that is just one example of some of the improvements.
Body types. And, like, chat, y'all have to correct me, like, because maybe I'm tripping, because, like, I thought you unlocked body types this past year by doing your Gatorade workouts, right? Like, that's how I got them. That's what, like, we saw a lot of content creators, things like that, talking about. Didn't really think about, like, the body types being more so in the builder. However, like, them saying this, it might take away the body type thing of being a part of Gatorade and stamina. So I know, like, you got a lot of people, like, I mean, me included, bro. Like, I'm not trying to sit there for 3 weeks to have to, like, keep grinding these different drills and then, just to get body types or to get this, like, Gatorade. And then after that, like, let's be fair, like, none of us really touched it again, right? Like, as soon as you got Rebirth and you already completed it, like, it, went on to your next builds. So, like, most people didn't really even touch the Gatorade area after you wind up unlocking the body types and like, pretty much unlocking that permanent, like, stamina bar. So, like, I wonder how they're going to rework that there. Because, like, it seems like body types will more likely be at least a part of the builder now, where you can be just more of a customizable option. You can choose whatever you want. You don't have to work for it. But at the same time, I wonder what that does to Gatorade. Like, I wonder if, like, because, like, we have Lethal Shooter, right? Like, you have Chris Brickley, you have things like that. Do you think they add stuff like that to the Gatorade facility and, like, to try and find ways to make that more appeasing and, like, useful? Because, my mind's going right now. I feel like a conspiracy theorist.
To the builder, some of the quality of life upgrades that we're going to talk about more later in the summer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's talk about that a little bit. Fresh play styles.
Yeah, so of all the
First place
feedback
styles
this year, it has been consistent that many people in the community love Cap Breaker, right?
We talked about
In case
Cap
you weren't
Breakers
locked
already.
unlocks
Cap
the
Breakers,
badges and
love it.
animations, and then your build and earn those Cap Breakers that we're going to talk about soon. The other thing that I saw a lot of positive feedback on this year was the takeover system, where you have 5 levels that heat up automatically, you don't need to activate it manually, and then a takeover ability at level 5. That system at its core is back, but it is more in depth now. There are some new mechanics, and the progression is also streamlined. So unlocking.
I can't wait to hear about what the more in-depth mechanics that they're talking about. Like, I wonder if it's more customizable where you can choose what you want, because that can be kind of broken. I don't think they'll do that because they want you to have just, all of those different options, which I think is sick, right? Like, you having those options, it creates that more RPG element instead of just, okay, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to keep these same exact ones. It allows you to kind of experiment a little bit more. So I'm definitely going to be looking out for
takeovers and the pure amount of takeovers and special abilities or takeover abilities, that is not going to be as intimidating anymore in 2K26.
So you said takeover abilities and not as intimidating. Like, I wonder, are they going to have the same amount of takeover abilities? Like, do you think they reduce them? Because I feel like they had a solid amount, but they could have had at least maybe 2 to 4 more, in my opinion, just for a little bit more flexibility, because people wound up using the same ones by the end of the year. So just having a little bit more variance could kind of allow that to be really cool. Or being able to have similar to your max plus 1, you can be able to swap out the takeover ability with the actual takeover, which might be cool. They didn't mention max plus 1, so I'm interested to see if that's back, because I think that was a W this year. I thought max plus 1 was great. It sucked having to grind all the way to level 30 every season to be able to unlock both your max plus 1 badges to be able to play. But I think it was a great aspect to be able to use, and really allowed you to experiment on which badges, which builds, and also be able to tune your build to whatever specific way you want to be able to do it.
So we're going to talk about takeover and Cap Breaker.
Keep things moving. I think this right here was something, again, that the community would talk about throughout the life cycle of any 2K game, and it's MyPlayer build diversity. So yeah, what are we talking about there?
Yeah, so build diversity is really important, and the dev team has been working hard to ensure that whether you have a short build, a tall build, or somewhere in between, that there are ways that you can be effective on the court. So when we get to the full 2K26 builder reveal, or when some of our creators have their hands on the builder later in the summer, you will hopefully notice some of the changes that are striving to hit that goal of build diversity. But that is it for MyPlayer for now. There are many more details that we just...
Build diversity, do you think that means they're going to be more of course, build names, you're able to do more at different different positions? Does this mean that taller guards might be back? Are you going to be able to have a Ben Simmons type of build? OG Ben Simmons, not my back Ben Simmons. So that's gonna also be interesting. Now maybe you can have a real Wemby, you can have a real Jokic, you can have so many different things. I'm very interested to see how they go about the build diversity thing, and that's probably also a way to try and keep people from just meta. Okay, everybody has the same sort of build, we're just rocking out. So I really hope they execute on that, because that can be really cool, and allow the community to kind of meet in the middle, where the people who want that diversity of being able to play more basketball realism to those who want to play more competitively or arcadey or whatever the hell it is. Find a nice mix. At the end of the day, people probably never going to be happy, but I see them trying, and I respect it. So
Can't share it today. I'm excited for what's coming up though.
Yeah, man, I see This little sneak peek right here will be the
Park is back. It has been a very fun first with some
We talked
friends
about
in the
Triple J Park. That was
the
dope.
roof
We're gonna keep
the
flying
show.
through it.
presented
So-
by AT&T. Let's lock in. I know a lot of the MyTEAM fans are excited for this one, so let's hear what we got.
Yes, my team players, I want you to pay attention to this one because I know for opportunity
That's still
to share more
10K,
unity.
man.
And
Like,
full
yo,
August.
25. Not only will tell you,
you're gonna see a lot more people playing
Yes,
my team.
you are
I'm telling
correct.
you.
So, MyCareer is a really important mode to us because so many of you love playing in your NBA careers. Makes sense, right? Who's the title of it? Now, we're not going to spoil how the story goes, of course, but what we can say is that there are now more consequences to the story games and your choices. So, for example, if you've got a game and your goal is to outshine your opponent, but you fail, your agent might not be able to get you the best opportunities because you didn't pass those objectives. So it makes things more.
So like, I feel like they had something like that kind of before, where it's just like, oh, you failed. There's consequences, which should be a thing. There like should be consequences with a lot of this stuff, but it should be like my career. You're playing your career, right? Like you can be able to go in whatever way you want to go. So if you want to be late to practice because you're doing this, like, you know, there should be consequences. Like, oh, you want to be an asshole to your teammates, you know, there should be consequences. That like, no matter what it is, like, I mean, you want to go out to the club and then, you know, show up pretty much hungover to your game, there should be consequences. Like, you should have choices, you should have flexibility, and I think that also gives replayability to MyCareer, because I know a lot of times like people play MyCareer like, all right, they'll like kind of go through it once, and then after that first build, unless like you're a real MyCareer purist, like you're even then like you're kind of skipping through a lot of things. With that flexibility, I want to be able to, you know, make a different character. Like I want to really have my player have personality and like make me interested at what this choice is going to be, not just like a good choice, bad choice. Like there needs to be areas of gray. There needs to be stuff that's gonna, okay, you don't think this is gonna matter right now, and then, oh shit, you know, maybe a month down the line in my quote unquote like, you know, season story, my actions here have now impacted me here, and it's like, damn, like I messed this up. Now you want to go all the way back and redo things and try a different route. And like that's kind of what it is. Like the, you know, persona, all that stuff. Like you want to be able to have those options. So like I hope that they continue to go through it. But most importantly, I hope that Out of Bounds, this is a Spike Lee joint. You know, they already like mentioned the Spike Lee thing. I wonder if that was a teaser. Like we know what it was like with Spike Lee. You know, even though Basquiat. No, let me troll. You know, R.I.P. Vic. But it was a solid story, but I think like having that kind of story like makes it work. Some people want to skip cutscenes, cool, but like there are some people who appreciate stories, and you know, somebody who comes from that sort of scene and like appreciating movies, art, scripting, all of that, like it's really cool to be able to appreciate a story in a basketball storyline because there's not really many out there. So it'd be very cool to see.
Interesting, and personally, every year I still start with MyCareer
Oh yes.
for the NBA, right? I don't
The
think
draft,
that's a spoiler.
like, the draft thing was dope. Having that back, hopefully that means the combine's back as well, because like you really want to be able to work for it. Like, you know, not only just being able to play against somebody, but being able to do drills. You have all the drills already with the Gatorade facility, so you could just be able to max it in there, and it just makes it a lot easier. You already have like you have everything that you need for the combine, so like you should be able to do it. And hopefully it's like past 2Ks where, you know, your performance in these drills and like, you know, these games and the interviews will keep pushing up your stock, or they can impact your stock. So that would be very cool to see. The private workout thing is really dope too, because like it allows you to bet on yourself. I do hope that, you know, kind of going with that Out of Bounds thing, you have the choice, you have the option. Like, what if I want to completely flub my workouts? Like, can I go undrafted? What happens then? Like, can I get signed to a team? Like, how far in the draft can I fall? Can I be, you know, the last pick in the draft? Like, that kind of flexibility is kind of cool to me. And just like, you know, so I'm very interested to see what you could do. And, you know, the potential of being potentially an undrafted pick, get picked up, like, you know, just wind up going on a heater. Like, I think that kind of stuff could be too.
You can say that.
Be cool too.
The draft is also an area in my career where I've seen brought up a lot in feedback. because it seems, of course,
Alright, we'll kinda go
is
through that.
now when teams win championships, they all
Dynamic banners is cool. It just allows, like, you know, those who are a part of, like, the MyNBA community to be able to, you know, feel like, all right, our, you know, just our team is growing and it's not just the same repetitive thing. So, like, that's kind of cool. Hope that means that there's more customization options too, just overall. So, like, as you're, you know, as the years go on, your arena can grow, like, you know, changes, like, you know, renovations, different things. You know, wear and tear maybe because you haven't done renovations. Like, it could be like really cool things. So I'm very interested to see how it'll go. Definitely always have to play at least one. I hope they really continue to build on what they were doing with MyGM last year because, like I said, I think they had like a solid premise. It just, you know, I feel like they just started to scratch the surface. It needs to get more in depth. You need to have that more option flexibility, and you know, them having unranked
obviously get
really
to hang a
works 'cause
banger
you just
up,
get
right?
to do your thing, right? Like,
franchise, but here we brought back MyGM and have that
alright, we talked about
the city a little bit, and I did want to talk about it first a little bit on that feedback. I think I personally noticed it right away this past year, and I think much of the community did as well.
I wonder, like, I really think that the shops are gonna be outside, like, you know, pretty much on the sides and like around, and like you have the park, or like the parks, like right in the middle, which would be kind of cool. Like, you have the different areas, so like one area of the park has like different stores, other area of the park has different stores, but like you pretty much have to walk through it all, and like you could just be able to pick up a game and then, okay, I want to go do this. I think, I don't know if they said that affiliations were back before, but it would be very interesting to see, because if they kind of get rid of those, like, you still have, you know, if you have affiliations, like, that would be very interesting. So I want to be able to go back and check if somebody did. You know, I can't remember off the top of my head. You can let me know in the comments. Appreciate everybody who's still been hanging out, because I know I am rambling. So
Now, we want to get you on the court faster. So this year in 2K26, really quickly to further build on that big shift last year. So if you've heard the words the city come up before, we have for the
What that means, Evan?
right spotlight on play in place.
that statue thing was dope. I wonder if they're doing more matchmaking now in the park, or they're just trying to shrink the park so that there's, like, you know, you don't have to have that need for matchmaking. I wonder if they're getting rid of the game modes. Like, this, like, man,
This thing is a lot.
And that
trying to have a
you've
break,
been out of
not a thing.
Look, be the ones here. We talk.
I'm very interested to see the parks too. Like, you know, maybe they have a makeover. Maybe they start to favor, like, you know, Rucker, Dykeman, like all the different things like that. Like, you know, Venice Beach. It would be cool to have those sort of like vibes or inspirations. I think that would be cool. And then have some, you know, outlandish, off the wall shit. Like, I think being able to balance it and have a little bit of fun is really what it's about, as long as it doesn't stay like stagnant and consistent. Like, I think that's the biggest thing. People, like, let's be fair, you know, just like now, I'm sure a lot of people have already clicked off this, but for those who are here, appreciate all of y'all. Really means a lot. But just like them, like, people don't have the attention spans, right? Like, you know, short attention spans, they get bored of things a lot. Like, it's like instant gratification generation. So you have to keep things fresh. You have to keep doing new things to be able to trigger the dopamine levels, like get people going again. So I'm very interested to see what they do. How many times the parks are going to change? Are the are the 2K15 parks back again? Because I think those were a W this year. So it's all
Talk a little
really
bit
dope
about
stuff.
game feedback.
2K weeks, simple graphic, art.
And then this, like, hold on, chat. We are going to have to. Oh, I can't do it here. We're gonna have to really look into this, because there might be. Yeah, bro. You see that shit right there? Spike's room. Spike's room. Yo, that's it right there, bro. That's right there. Where's I gotta talk about Spike Lee with the mic, bro. They're doing it. It's doing it. It's doing it. Yeah, nah, we really gonna have to go, like, really go in depth with this. Look at Mello. Look beautiful. Like, I don't know. This looks fantastic. We definitely have to check this out. But there's probably all kinds of different things here. Gold medal. I wonder if FIBA's back. That would be kind of dope. What did they say? Something was on the 26th. Yeah, we're gonna break down this, because this I think has a lot. I gotta get this, like, blown up high resolution, so we can go through it. But appreciate everybody who's hanging out, for real. if you haven't already, make sure you join the Discord, like the stream, follow the stream, subscribe. Everything helps, just the watch time, everything like that. Just share it with your friends. We are here to help you the entire 2K26 long. I was about to say 25. Now we going to 26 now, baby. The entire time. So definitely reach out. If there's something you want to learn, let us know. We'll make a video about it. And then also for those who are here, definitely we have a tournament that's going on right now. The Unified Pro-Am Summer Classic, it's fire. It's going to be the biggest tournament to end 2K25. So if you want your last fix before going to 26, definitely check that out. There's actually 15K on the line, which is sick. So if you are somebody who just wants to be able to hoop, it's actually free for all players, all single players. You get to go in, you get put into a free agent pool, you get drafted, and then you'll be able to compete against everybody else. And for those who are part of teams, there is an entry fee. However, you can use our code 2KFR to get 10% off your sign up for this tournament, so you get it a little bit cheaper. And then, if it's not on the, not on the link, anything like that, just say 2KFR or Joe sent you. Even DM us, we'll kind of help you with that sort of thing, but you got to get that going right away because signups are almost over. The draft is on the 20th, so definitely make sure you do that. We'll make sure we put the unifiedproam.gg link in the description below, and we're going to make sure we promote it a little bit more. But seriously, thank everybody for everything. We really love y'all, and hope y'all have a good one. And if you haven't already, if you're looking for some great 2K25 content, you should probably check out this link right here.
Team's been working on there's some esports